Sounds to me like you are suspicious of everybody except for Q and Trump.
That's what you want it to sound like. That's not what it is.
They also share an equally deep distrust of the mainstream news media.
So what is Q?
They are a new fringe conspiracy theory group.
People who believe in the QAnon conspiracy theory.
Now that Q is actually starting to come out into the mainstream, what's the first thing you see in most news agencies do? They're trying to debunk it because they don't want you to listen.
The president hasn't been asked directly, but QAnon followers believe Trump winks at them from time to time with a word or a turn of phrase borrowed from Q. One example, they say, came at the White House Easter egg roll. Q requested a particular phrase.
The term tip-top shape, if he could use the term tip-top shape.
We keep it in tip-top shape. We call it sometimes tippy-top shape.
So you saw that to be a nod that I'm with you?
They asked him to say it, and shortly thereafter he did.
The White Rabbit is big with Q followers.
President of the United States.
Pay close attention next time President Trump holds one of his big campaign rallies.
Hello, Florida.
You'll notice certain signs and T-shirts that stand out. References to Q, the 17th letter of the alphabet. A cryptic salute to an elusive character.
YouTube, Q's plan to save the world.
It's not a conspiracy, it's fact.
QAnon, an anonymous internet user, supposedly with a high-level security clearance, posting online.
I am 100% behind Q. He's working for the president, he's working for our country.
Q's subversive message, crowdsourced and embellished by a growing group of followers, offering an alternative explanation of everything.
And it involves the whole Space Force, possible alien life, like pedophiles, and it just seeks to tie all of that together.
Melissa Dietrich and her husband Dave Buffamoyer were at Trump's rally last week in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
I loved it. I've never been to a rally, so it was just exciting.
They're Q followers who have 20,000 followers themselves. We caught up with them today in Redding. Is QAnon a person?
Well, obviously, it's at least one person. It could be more than one person. Some of the posts are signed Q+, which would seem to indicate that it's more than one person.
He doesn't tell you what to think. He leads you to information. You can read it and decide yourself what you think. That's the breadcrumbs. You follow them.
You call them breadcrumbs. And you bake the breadcrumbs?
Yes, and so they will take the breadcrumbs and actually make bread with them.
Some of this comes out, though, pretty half-baked. JF started in the dark corners of cyberspace. This thought to be one of the origin posts by Q on the message board 4chan. It's from October of last year.
And they're very cryptic sort of messages that require a level of deciphering. We do some of that, but a lot of times we just rely on what people that we call the Anons.
From there, Q made the leap to more mainstream sites like Reddit and YouTube, and onto the Twitter feed of public figures like Roseanne Barr.
She tweeted, for example, last year, "Who is Q?" or "I want to meet Q," stuff like that.
This Roseanne Barr tweet from March of 2018, since deleted, tapped into one of QAnon's core beliefs that President Trump is breaking up child sex trafficking rings. What first attracted Melissa and David is that they share a deep distrust of politics as usual, bordering on disgust.
I think we've been let down by both parties. To me, I don't even see two parties. I see one establishment party. There's us and there's them.
No, and Q doesn't have to be right about everything. I'm not right about everything. I'm betting you're not right about everything. I know damn well the media's not right about everything.
The movement has already had an impact in the real world. There was this bizarre standoff in June. An armed man in an armored vehicle, believed to be a QAnon supporter, blocked a highway near the Hoover Dam. Melissa and David see that as an anomaly.
QAnons are not violent.
Q actually makes a lot of references to different movies.
They insist it's harmless stuff, but other crowdsourced conspiracy theories have had real consequences. Most famously, Pizzagate. In 2016, Edgar Welsh turned up at Comet Pizza in Washington, D.C. with an AR-15 and started shooting because he believed the false story that a pedophile ring connected with the Clintons was operating inside the restaurant.
What happened today demonstrates that promoting false and reckless conspiracy theories do come with consequences.
Do you think it's right that these social media companies pulled the plug on it?
I think, again, short of him advocating for violence against somebody, I think he should be free to speak as he chooses to speak.
It's certainly not going to deter them from what they see as their pursuit of the truth. Does it worry you at all, the idea that a portion of the people watching this will be picturing you in a tinfoil hat?
Do you know how many of my friends have told me that?
All right, welcome, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen of Black World TV, the new black media, black by popular demand. So, a New Jersey man was identified as the developer behind a now defunct website used to circulate far-right conspiracy theories pushed by QAnon. The website QMapPub, that is QMap.pub, was abruptly shut down after fact-checking group Logically.ai revealed the man's identity. The site reached over 10 million visitors in July, Bloomberg News reported, and served as one of the main platforms of communication between QAnon supporters. By tracing an email address from a since deleted Facebook post asking for translation services for Q, the unknown head figure behind the fringe group Logically was able to identify Jason Galinas as the developer and mouthpiece for QMap.pub. He is a New Jersey man in his 40s with prominent roles in technical analysis and IT security for the banking sector, according to Logically. Galinas declined to comment on the report from Logically, but Galinas indicated he was aware of the report, saying that he had received it in a Twitter message. Quote, "I'm not going to comment on any of that," Galinas said to Bloomberg News. "I'm not going to get involved. I want to stay out of it," unquote. Galinas works as an information security analyst at Citigroup, according to Logically. Citigroup did not immediately return a request for comment from Insider. The identity of Q, an anonymous figure advancing conspiracy theories that claim a mass of satanic and pedophiliac Democrats are running a global sex trafficking ring in a fight against President Donald Trump, still remains unknown. Last year, the FBI designated QAnon as a domestic terrorist group, saying it's filled with conspiracy theory-driven domestic extremists and citing it as a growing threat. QAnon peddlers have received support from Trump, who's retweeted posts from their accounts multiple times. Trump has also publicly welcomed support from the group. You know, he calls them good, fine people. The promotion of QAnon from Trump and the GOP has led to growing bipartisan concern that the fringe group might be emboldened to act more publicly, especially as several QAnon supporters are running for Congress. Now, family, as you just heard the report I just read to you and just exposed to you through the media, different media clips that I showed you, as you've noticed, most of the QAnon supporters are also Trump supporters. We are not surprised. You also notice some of the trouble, some of the shenanigans that they also pulled based on some of these conspiracy theories. Again, one example is that whole Pizzagate where that criminal thug took his assault rifle and ultimately killed some people. This is what the things that they do, causing different types of trouble domestically, and I understand why they've been designated by the FBI as a domestic terrorism group. That's right, domestic terrorism group. So family, as you go through these last few video clips that I'm presenting to you, I hope you slow it down and read each one of the screenshots so you can see exactly what's being said. I found this quite interesting because there's several YouTubers out there who cite Q as a source for some of their talking points. They've actually cited Q as a source, and they swear up and down that it's as reliable as good old American apple pie. They believe in it wholeheartedly. Well, I've never believed in anything wholeheartedly. Anyways, you've heard it here, Black World TV, the new black media. Black by popular demand. We'll see you in the next broadcast. Peace out.